Hey everyone, today I'm sharing a card for a collaboration between Pear Blossom Press and Not Too Shabby. And I'll be starting off using Not Too Shabby's Winter Wishes stamps, the Ultimate Snowglobe shaker dies, the Cozy Christmas paper pad, and Pear Blossom Press's Halo Light combos. I'm showing all the different patterns in the Cozy Christmas paper pad because it's always fun to see what's actually included. The outside package insert thingy has all of the patterns, but I like to look at it in full just to see like how the patterns are laid out. Honestly, I'm not really a pattern paper girly, but I do like to use it here and there. And so I picked out a really simple one, which is that red glittery one, perfect for Christmas. And then I also picked out a Christmas tree one that didn't look super busy, and I thought it'd be cute to have it peek out on the side because I will be matting the red glitter paper. I don't know, I just thought it was a really cute combo and I wanted to stick with the color theme. For my die cutting, I always back my white cardstock with double-sided adhesive. I find it makes it just so much easier because I have a tendency to want to color my die cuts. It's really rare for me to actually use paper scraps, so that's why I have a ton of colored paper because I rarely use it unless it's just for matting a card. I tend to like to color my die cuts because it gives it dimension, and I really love the no line look which this kind of gives when you color up your die cuts because there aren't any lines and you kind of have to create your own shadows. And that's what I'm doing. My coloring's always the same. I use 3 Copic markers usually in a color family, and I go in with the darkest for the shadows, then I'll blend it out with the medium tone and color the rest of the space with the lightest tone. I think that it just makes it a lot cuter, lots of dimension, but you can also do that with color scraps too, right? Like you can add a little bit of Copic markers, or you do a little bit of ink blending. It creates the same effect. And I know that this is extra, but I just love it. So I can't help but use Copic markers to color. And there's actually not that many items that I will be coloring up. It's basically the snow globe holder, and I'm making it into an ornament. I have the snowman, and then I think trees and the house. The snowflakes is going to stay white, and originally I had thought about making a shaker card. The Ultimate Snow Globe shaker die allows you to create like a really big shaker snow globe, and that's like the bigger circle in the set. But I actually went with the smaller one because I wanted to use it with the halo lights, and the halo lights are kind of specific because it is one size, so you do have to have dies that like fit that size, and luckily in this set it fits perfectly. And it will work to kind of illuminate my snow globe ornament. And I haven't used these before, really. I've used lights plenty. I use the twinkle lights, the original lights, but I just never use the halo lights because I usually don't plan too ahead. I tend to make scene cards and I don't have the perfect circle all the time. So this was the perfect opportunity to use it. And it actually reminds me of the one light. It's so easy. You just add double-sided adhesive behind the halo light, you put onto your card, and then you're done. It's so easy. So once I finish coloring all my items, I'm going to be putting this together, and I kind of have to pivot a bit because I had this idea in my head and I don't know, it just changed. So as you can see with the halo lights, you just pop them out of its container and it's really easy to do. There is a battery already affixed to it, and then there's that push button that you push. There's a little paper thing between the batteries, so it kind of conserves its energy. You'll just remove it once you put it onto your card, and then you'll be able to press the button and test the lights and stuff. So as I mentioned before, there's a circle that's perfect for the halo lights, and it's like absolutely perfect. It just fits so well. And I also have to consider where I want my push button to be. I want it to be kind of at an edge so I can have like a little cardstock insert to save the battery while I'm not using it. I do mark where I want my halo light with a pencil on my back, like my main back cardboard panel, and then I'll affix it right there. So once I do that, it is more or less putting everything together, and then I'll be good to go. So as you remember, I have 2 pieces of pattern paper to kind of mat on each other, and so I decided to sandwich my pieces in between. I ran into a little issue because I realized I used double-sided adhesive on these die cuts, and there's going to be an opening, right, because of the halo lights. But I trim only the portion that I think is going to stick to my card panel, so I don't expose all that adhesive on the back, and it works fine. No one will know because no one will see the back of it, so it'll be fine, and it won't be sticky because the release paper will still be there on the parts that aren't actually adhered to the card panel. So I put this together, and you can see that this like little snow globe is really small, so I had to trim the tree and the house and kind of add it separately. I also trimmed the snowdrifts because it was just too big. Originally I had thought about doing a shaker card, and then I decided not to, but that frame was perfect because then it really pulls this whole ornament look together. And I'll put it on top of the snow globe holder. So this is just like the mini version, which is really cute. And then they had that little ornament thingy on top. I don't even know what it's called, but it makes it into an ornament and it'll hang from there. So for the sentiment, there's only a few that actually work perfectly in this little snow globe holder, but I picked Let It Snow because I think it's just a classic and stamped it on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and adhere everything together. So the top panel to the back panel of this pattern paper, and then this panel will go on top of my blue panel, which has the halo light. And I do test everything in between making the card just to make sure that the lights are lining up and all of that. For the ornament, it needed some kind of ornament holder or string, so I just found a piece of thread, and I am just threading it through and then taping it on the back to make sure that it is sturdy. Nothing too fancy. I considered making a bow, and then I decided against it because I was like, wait, how am I gonna let it hang or whatever? So I just did a straight like thread in the back, and then I put a piece of Scotch tape in the back just to hold it down. So I like that little part of it because it kind of gives it a little interest, you know, it's a little different. And I probably could have found like some glittery tape or just thread, but I didn't, and that's what I had. So I am also using the Pear Blossom Press stamp and die bundle. It just has like all the little sentiments that say push, pull, or whatever for interactive cards. And I just used it on a piece of die cut that I had cut out for my card that I just didn't end up using. It's kind of like the sentiment thing for the larger snow globe. And I trimmed it down to make it look like a little tag, I guess. And that will be my push button because I like to make it kind of subtle so it's not so obvious, but it's really cute. And then here I am covering up my entire back panel with the Pear Blossom Press foam tape. And this foam tape is really cool because it's gonna adhere, but I think, what is it, 24 hours, within 24 hours or less than 24 hours, you can actually remove it. And so if you make a mistake or whatever, you can carefully like remove it. And it's kind of a lifesaver because sometimes it's just like so hard to put down. I do use my Misty to put everything together because it creates that little corner so I can make sure that it lines up perfectly. And then my last part is adding that push button, like the little label on the ornament. I think it's so cute. So then I thought about this, and I only had die cut one snowflake. And that wasn't enough. So I went back off camera and die cut a bunch of like additional snowflakes just to kind of decorate the area because it did look a little plain with just the red glitter, even though it's really pretty. But, you know, to fill up that space, if it was white space, I would do the same thing. I would fill it up with snowflakes. But this created the perfect contrast for the snowflakes. And then you get the peak of the Christmas trees on the other card panel, and then I'll trim off any excess and my card is done. So this turned out really cute. I really liked it, and it's like a cute snow globe ornament that you can push and light up, and I just love how the lights are looking on this card. So I hope you enjoyed this collaboration, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye!